Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your SmackDown review. Boy, oh boy, what a boring ass show this was. Talk about uneventful. You had some matches here. You had a couple of things, you know, um, decided for Survivor Series. But man, oh man, getting there, it was sure boring as fuck. Could they make this any uninteresting? I mean, on Raw, you had the big invasion. There wasn't a big invasion tonight. That would have been too predictable. Even if you could say predictability, might have at least made the show more exciting. If they did like the even trade off, like SmackDown invades, and then the very next night it kind of loses its luster. So at least they didn't take that route. But then in exchange for not taking that route, the show was very fucking boring, and it had this pace to it where it was like, oh my god, like nothing exciting at all on here. They started off with Shane McMahon. He was touting about the invasion of Raw under siege. And Sami Zayn comes out. He says that, they'll put their differences aside so he could be the team captain. This guy, this is Shane's first SmackDown back since the Hell in a Cell. Uh, and you had Zayn pulling him out of the way, and he almost fucking crashed. He crashed through the fucking announce table, almost getting seriously injured. And here we have two guys just face to face. Now, I understand that, Shane is the authority figure here in this role, so Zayn can't touch him. But it's almost like one of them should do fucking something. I mean, this should be a bitter rivalry. Instead, they're just kind of calmly talking to one another. No one's shouting at one another. No one's getting angry here. Like, is somebody fucking did this to you, like made you get hurt, made you miss a couple of weeks of work, and then when you see them again, wouldn't you be fucking furious at them? Instead, it's like, no, we're just calmly talking, and Shane's like, we'll get to that at another time. And he says, you're going to have to earn your spot onto Team SmackDown for the Survivor Series match. His opponent's going to be Randy Orton. I mean, talk about dropping the ball here. Think about how much more exciting that this opening segment could have been with a bit of action, with a bit of anger at least. Or maybe like Shane's trying to control himself. Zayn could stand there and laugh at him saying, what's the matter? Don't you want to, get your revenge on me? Zayn also really dropping the ball here. This is not creative's fault here. I'm just gonna. No, it is creative's fault for telling them to make this more about the SmackDown thing than what happened at Hell in a Cell. Because we gotta have the SmackDown versus Raw thing, put everything else on hold. Everything else has to wait. We have to wait, for this to be done. Then we can move on to that. No, stop that robotic shit. But the thing is, Sami Zayn here could have done a much better job of cutting his promo. Last week he did a good job. Again, it was kind of like the first week after Hell in the Cell. Not very good on the mic, just very bland and boring. And, not very heelish at all. This is exactly why I said Sami Zayn will never truly be over. Because this guy he doesn't have it. I can see he has a little something in him from last week. And I've seen some little glimmers of hope from him. But I look at a promo like this and, I'm not seeing much. So he's going to face Randy Orton tonight to decide who's going to be on Team SmackDown. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin defeated New Day. The Usos were on commentary. I just can't help but feel that a guy like Shelton Benjamin is being wasted in this role. This guy comes back. He looks like $1,000,000. He looks like more of a star than half the guys here. Look at the goof that's going to be wrestling for a spot on Team SmackDown. Sami Zayn. Don't you think that Shelton Benjamin would have been better suited for that role? More name recognition, looks more like a star. Anyway, they're going to be facing the Usos at a later date, because we got to put that on hold because Raw versus SmackDown is so important. Um, there was a backstage segment with Daniel Bryan. Once again, it is the same thing. They're all standing around backstage. Becky Lynch, Lana, Tamina, Charlotte. They're all like lined up evenly. Only like Lana standing in the background. They got to get like this same shot every single fucking time. I've said it's the same thing when it's on Raw. It's got to be the Raw sign right there. It's like this one magical fucking spot right here. These coordinates are exactly where the promo has to take place. It can't take place anywhere else. Now I get this is the rendezvous spot. This is like, the spot where they do the interviews. This is the designated spot, like he's telling them to meet up for a meeting. But this is like so manufactured. Each person takes a turn to talk. I don't know. It was like Carmella just comes in there. She said she's missing Ellsworth. And Ellsworth, he goes, Daniel Bryan says, I'll put out a search party immediately. I don't, like Carmella, the big heel, just like saying a couple of things, and then everyone's just nodding in approval. He says that the team captain will be decided with a fatal 5-way match. These are such manufactured segments. I mean, really, like, you're taking a one turn for one person to talk. How artificial and contrived does this feel? And not only, what makes it worse is that they have these segments constantly. It's not like once in a while. And all the women always have to be involved in every single segment. What happened on Raw when they were doing Charlotte and Sasha Banks? At least it was, one-on-one. At least you got just two good. Now you got everybody fucking talking at once, and it's fucking annoying as fuck. We had the fashion dogs, the fashion files. I don't even really like understand what the whole thing they were trying to come up with, like the cases, the case solved and shit, and they're saying the Bludgeon Brothers, the B is silent. Like, I understand they're going for zany humor, but they're kind of like running out of ideas here, and this shit's kind of going off the rails. I'm gonna say it. They started off decently with these; they were funny, but I get the whole shtick is that like they're trying to solve a mystery and they never solve it, and then they just move on to something else, and they're going to parody another. This time it was Reservoir Dogs. They had kidnapped Ellsworth. Carmella comes in to save him. They say, "What's in the briefcase?" They open up the briefcase. There's dirty underwear in there. It's Ellsworth's underwear, supposedly. I don't know. I didn't really find this all that funny, and it's now just getting a bit too absurd. I try to say, okay, the WWE is trying to be creative here. I'm trying to give but like, my God, at least try a little harder is what I'm saying. This is not really that funny at all. It's kind of like the segment last week with, the gluten-free bun. It's like, these jokes they're just not funny. Like, I get it. You're trying to be creative, but you have years and years of creativity to look back on. See what made shit funny back in the day and go back to that stuff. Because dirty underwear, that's not funny. That's not even. They have smarter humor on Nickelodeon, for fuck's sakes. Daniel Bryan was criticizing Shane McMahon backstage for assaulting Raw. He said that they shouldn't have done that. He said it's in his job description to give his input. So we see that there's a little bit of a rift between them. They could play this up in the future, and it could be interesting. Sin Cara defeated Baron Corbin by disqualification. How does it look that, okay, go back to Hell in a Cell, that Baron Corbin beats AJ Styles and the Perfect 10 for the fucking U.S. title. Okay, so he pins AJ Styles clean the next night. Then he comes back and gets beat by Sin Cara by countout. And the thing is, like, he was having a problem with Sin Cara. He was keeping him out of the ring. He couldn't pin him. This week, Baron Corbin gets frustrated. He pounds away at him. He gets DQ'd. So I get it. He didn't lose. He didn't look like a loser this week. He looked like a winner. He also attacked him after the bell at the end of days. But the thing is, he's not looking like a winner because 2 weeks in a row, he's showing that he can't beat Sin Cara, fair and square. Even though he towers over the guy, and he's the U.S. champion, Sin Cara hadn't been seen for fucking months. So Sin Cara comes back, and I guess they're trying to go for that Kalisto magic, but enough is enough already. Baron Corbin, this guy who's 6'8", nearly 300 pounds, and you're telling me he's having trouble with fucking Sin Cara? I mean, how does that make him look? This is a guy who they might have had him beat Cena at SummerSlam had he not done the Twitter thing. And now you're showing that he can't even beat Sin Cara? Like, what are they fucking thinking? How does this look? There was a little promo vignette for Under Siege. Various SmackDown superstars gave their thoughts on, what was going on, heading to the arena or coming back from it. I guess it was a pretty, a decent little retrospective and, to just show, like, the SmackDown roster and what they thought briefly. Jinder Mahal was in the ring with the Singh brothers. He responded to Paul Heyman. He called him a walrus. He says that, he's going to prove him wrong and he's going to beat Brock. Decent enough promo, I guess. I would have, if this was going to be Under Siege, I would have liked, could at least like one person, okay, they don't have to have the whole locker room, but could Brock show up on SmackDown maybe? Maybe when Jinder says that maybe Brock could show up, Jinder could get, this is a good opportunity to show his facial expressions. He could destroy the Singh brothers. I guess they don't want to show because knowing them, they would have Brock come out and Jinder would probably just flee into the audience because that's how they book it. They're going to book him like the chicken shit heel. So if that's what they're going to do, maybe it's better off they don't show it at all. AJ beat one of the Singh brothers backstage. He's going to face the other Singh brother next week. Okay, like I'm saying, by the numbers, like he beat one Singh brother. No, do you think he's going to beat the other Singh brother next week? Probably not, right? He's got a chance. Becky Lynch won the Fatal 5-Way, so she's the team captain. I think Carmella would have been a better pick. You could have had her and Ellsworth in some funny moments, like I said, with Alicia Fox. If you're going to have a team captain, it's probably best to have the best talker, the one that has the most exciting personality leading the team. So at least, like I said, when they have like these little locker room powwows, at least you could have some entertaining conversation. There's still opportunities for that because Carmella's still going to be there backstage, but I think that it would have just been funnier having her as the captain than having Ellsworth there. The Bludgeon Brothers were backstage. Not backstage. They did a vignette. The same thing as last week. They said hot is cold and cold is hot and bad is good and, okay, let's just debut these guys already. I've got a feeling that they're not going to do much with them. That's all I'm going to say right here. You know, these guys could be a force to be reckoned with, of course. You know, I always said that they look imposing. Luke Harper is very talented in the ring. Eric Rowan's not bad either. You know, together, I just, you know, I just don't know what they're going to be able to accomplish with the way how creative is. If we had a good creative team, these guys would be monsters. They could be tag champs. They would be unbeatable. But we know we're not going to get that. You know, because on SmackDown, it's going to be even Stevens. You know, you're going to have Chad Gable beating up Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. You know, we're supposed to probably believe that could be a possibility. I'm just saying, you know, like in any other time in WWE, these guys might have had a chance at being something big, but I could just already tell from the vignettes, you know, and then especially if you've got Fandango and you know, Breeze Dongo mentioning them backstage. Are they going to be involved in their skits? I hope not, is all I'm saying. But, you know, like I said, I don't really have high hopes for this team. I'd like to see them. Like I said, you've got two talented guys that look the part, but it's up to creative what they want to do with them. Ziggler and Bobby Roode were arguing backstage. They're going to have a rematch, a 2 out of 3 falls match next week. You know, I don't know. This feud, I'm just not feeling it here. Ziggler's showing a lot of fire and fury. I'm not getting the same thing from Bobby Roode. And I like Bobby Roode. He's good on the mic. We saw what this guy could do in TNA. But I don't know. You know, Ziggler, I could really tell. Like, this guy seriously wants to reclaim the former glory. He really wants to be a big star, but WWE just won't let him. You know, you can see, like, the way how Ziggler's doing it. Like, he's trying to talk fast. He's trying to put a lot of passion into the promo, and he's succeeding. It's just, you know, creative is just, they don't know what the fuck to do with him, honestly. You know, after this is all said and done with Bobby Roode, what is next for Ziggler? Because based on the past, not much. Then you had Orton and Zayn, and Orton beats Zayn, and you know, just like it really should be. Just like it should be. I mean, really, how? Like I said, in the tag match with Zayn and Orton, you know, like Zayn getting the pin on Orton. Does that look right? Is anybody really buying that? I'm looking at this match, and I'm just like, am I really watching this like a guy that looks like Orton wrestling Sami Zayn in the main event? And I don't care how many good promos the guy looks like shit, honestly. Let's just be perfectly honest. The guy looks like fucking horse shit. He doesn't have any muscle definition at all. You look at his face, he doesn't look like a star. He doesn't have enough passion. You can see that in the promo earlier tonight. I mean, this is a guy that just doesn't deserve a spot. Let's just fucking come out and say it and stop dancing around. Oh, you know, he did a promo that was okay last week. He sucks, all right? He fucking sucks. He sucks. He sucks. He fucking sucks. So, you know, so I don't know what they're going to do with him at SmackDown. Next week, Kevin Owens is going to face Nakamurphy. You know, Nakamurphy, oh, he's so great. How charismatic. Where was he this week? A mention of him backstage, but that's it. No Nakamurphy. Oh, what a big star. I mean, like, you know, like I said, I'm not a Nakamurphy fan, but if he's such a big deal, then where is he? Like, they don't even fucking book him on the show for at least 2 fucking minutes? You know, they've got time to do, you know, Breeze Dongo skits that are not even funny anymore. And then you've got Nakamurphy, who's supposed to be a big main eventer. And he's nowhere to be found or heard from. So, you know, I don't know. If Sami Zayn's not going to be there on the team, I don't think Kevin Owens is. So, you know, look for Nakamurphy to win next week. And then they end it with Daniel Bryan and Shane discussing that Raw didn't invade this week. Um, there's all this talk of security, and they're not even showing the security at all. At least do some outside the building shots to get people hyped. They're showing a shot of an exit sign. Like this show, there was like no effort. Like I said, I showed on Raw, there was effort. They tried to make a little excitement with the invasion and everything, and they succeeded for the most part. But for God's sakes, like on SmackDown, they decided the team captain. They decided who was going to be in the main event with Zayn and Orton. But what like there was nothing at all like to make anybody want to watch this. Like there was no excitement. There was no like really good promos or segments or anything. Like no big moments at all. Nothing really like that I could even say like, oh, at least go watch this on YouTube. It was just match, promo, promo. You had an opportunity in the beginning to do something interesting with Zayn and Shane, but they just didn't, they didn't do anything with it. This guy, like, makes them fall through a fucking table, and there's nothing. Like, how are we sitting here watching a show that claims that they're, telling a story, and this is the worst told story I've ever fucking seen in my life? How is there no retaliation? How are there no consequences? What are the consequences? Oh, you have to wrestle Randy Orton in the main event. Well, what the fuck is that? Guys, this was a terrible fucking SmackDown. There was nothing at all worth watching on here. It was fucking garbage. It was fucking trash. It was fucking horrendous. How do you go from Raw, which was at least decent, to this fucking garbage? Anyway, motherfuckers, this has been your SmackDown review. Your YWC champ, signing out.